All right, so now we're going to go over assignments, how you get an assignment on here, and things of the like. This page is getting pretty long. I probably don't want to add anything to it. I know it's not set up for usability right now, but it's just set up to show how to do things. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next one. Reminder, we set this as our highlighted unit, so now when someone comes to the home page, it's going to default to this part. If you don't want it highlighted anymore, you just remove the highlight. So we're going to go ahead and add an assignment. And notice, if you double click, that's the same as clicking the button and then clicking add below. So here's going to be an example assignment. And remember, when you do an example assignment, you have the option of putting resources in the description. So if you don't want to put it on the course, so you could say something like, I'd like you to read this article or watch this video and then upload. So you can put the video right here, just like you would if you're going to record yourself, or if you're going to toss in, your embed code from YouTube. You can put resources right here. We'll go into that a little bit more in a combining video later on. But anyway, so right here you get to choose when it's available. So if you're going to always have it available, you can just get rid of those. Typically, there's cutoff dates here, so you can say it's due the 13th. Our cutoff date might be the 23rd or something. So you can set that stuff up. Personally, I didn't ever get too worried about the due dates. If somebody didn't have something, I didn't want them not to be able to submit it to me. Even if it's late, they can submit it to me, not the way it's set up now. Here you get to choose what type of files you're going to accept. Are you going to accept any file? Is it an online text where they're going to type into a text box? Or are you going to accept PDF submissions? Now, if you allow PDF submissions, this allows you to grade directly on the document itself. For instance, if somebody's going to use Microsoft Word, they would have to just save it as a PDF to upload it. Now, interestingly enough, I'll show you a trick here. If we only use PDF submissions and we link to Google Docs or Google Drive, it will automatically convert to a Google Doc to a PDF. So it's very similar to how Google Classroom works. Students are going to submit something and then you're going to have access to it. A quick note on this, when it makes that PDF, it's going to make the PDF from the version that it currently has. So if students were to go in and update something, you'd have to choose a different way to accept it. Now, what you can do, and I've done this as well, is just accept online text and then put here your submission So now it's going to allow them to paste in the share link, and then it'll open up for you whenever you click on that link. It's going to open the most recent version. So if that's a deal breaker for you, just set it up like this. So all they have to do is copy paste, and then it turns it into you. So you get to choose how that's set up. I typically set it up like this. And I'm not looking, you could get a couple, but maybe a few, but I don't want you to send me a bunch of them. If you feel like you're going to get some larger ones. Feedback, so this is going to be, do you want to provide them comments? Do you want to provide them inline comments? So that is like you could type right in their paper, just like you'd be able to write on a piece of paper if they sent it to you. You probably only want to do that on online text. Otherwise, you don't need to really do inline. Do you want to be able to send them files? Really, do you want to leave comments? Do you want to annotate the PDF are probably the big ones. I don't really do anything for this stuff unless you're going to do group submissions where there's more than one person. Here you can throw a grade on it. So if you want the grade to be, at a 10 or 50 or 25, whatever you want, you can put that, you can change that there. And these other things are kind of common, but you don't really need them. Okay, so we have our example assignment. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in as a student, and I change the assignment that was there. So here I'm in as a student in a different browser. Okay, so the left is the student, the right is the teacher. As the student, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to, it says I didn't submit anything. So I'm going to add a submission, and it tells me it's got to be a PDF. But if I use my Google Drive link, I have a test assignment that I can search for. And then the newer ones are towards the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and select this file. And then we can save that. All right, so it says it's submitted, hasn't been graded yet. Now if I go in over here as the teacher, let me refresh this page, and I go into the assignment itself, you'll see it tells me I've got one participant, one person has submitted it, and one of them needs grading. I can hit view all submissions, and you'll see over here, this is the submission. Now, quick note, if you don't see anything here and you know that you should, there's a button up here that'll show reset table settings. If you click reset table settings, now it's going to show up. So anyway, that was to view submissions. If I want to just start grading, I can just click grade. And you'll notice right here, here is the PDF that was actually a Google Doc a minute ago. It now came in as a PDF, and now I can provide feedback on this document. So let's make this one full screen quick. So for this student, I can provide feedback, so I can type in comments here. A quick note, there's 3 buttons down here. If you only want, if you want this one to be bigger, if you want the split screen, or if you only want this one. That's what that's set up for. You can throw a grade in here. Now let's say you're looking for a rubric. You can set a rubric, and then you just click the buttons over here, and it will give them a grade based on the score of the rubric. There's a future video on how to set up a rubric, so don't do it unless you have the rubric set up, but you have to make the rubric and then attach it to the assignment. But here it's kind of neat because we can, this tells us our color. This over here lets us, maybe we want to circle something. Maybe we want to, we got yellow, so we can highlight something. Oh, that shouldn't, because I had red. So maybe I want to delete that because I wanted it to be yellow. So there's a highlight. Maybe I like putting a stamp on it. Smiley face stamp, maybe we can make that. Those you can't change color. Anyway, so, I like that. Whatever it is, you can add a comment here. So if you want to throw in a comment here, you're able to do that as well. Now you can save and show next, and it's going to send the students a copy of the annotated PDF. They can click download and they can see all your scribbles and markups and whatever you have on it. They'll see your comments and they'll see your grade as well. So this is a quick way just to go through everybody's in your class, after they've submitted them, or do it along the way. If they're using Google Drive, allows the PDF to come over right away. I also showed in the previous, or earlier on in this video, I showed how you can set this up. So let's go ahead and reset this. Yeah, here, we'll hit Save Changes. And then, okay. And the reason I wanted to do that was because now, over on the student end, let's refresh this. Over on the student end, I can see that it's been graded. I can see over here that I got a 75 out of 100. And if I'd like, I can see the annotated PDF right here. So that's how that's going to work from the student end. If I were to change, so let's go back quickly. And I'm actually going to set up a new one here. Okay, obviously you're going to probably put a little bit more in there than that. But so instead of a file, or instead of a PDF submission, now I'm going to allow online text. A quick note on this: if you allow file submissions, a Google Doc isn't going to necessarily come over as a PDF. So if it, depending on how you have it set up on your computer, if it comes over as like a Word doc, then you'll have to download it to see it. That viewer isn't going to work for a Word doc. So it's just a semantic. It's not a big deal. You just have to click it, download it, but then you can't annotate and send back a PDF because it didn't come to you as a PDF. So that's why I use PDF submissions. Using Google Docs a lot works fine. But anyway, I'm going to set online text for this one. We'll go ahead and hit save. And then in my new example, when I add submission, it's just going to give me a text box to put my submission. Now, the nice part about this is if you want them to videotape themselves, you would use a text submission, and you could get a videotape of them saying something to you, or an audio recording of them reading something to you, or they can put pictures in, and so that's another advantage to using the text editor here. But so if I was going to put the Google Doc link in there, let me run over to my other monitor here quick. All right, so now as a student, let's get those two windows open. We're going to make that one smaller. Here as a student, I've got my submission and I've got my assignment over here. So what I can do is just click share, and all you need to do is get the shareable link. So now anyone with the link can view. All I'm going to do is copy that, paste it in right there, or even if you wanted to do, students can set it up however they want there. So here, we had it there before, sorry. You can create the link like that, so it's a hyperlink. Or if you want, you can do this. So we're going to hit save changes on that. And then we'll hit done over here. Okay, so it's been submitted for grading. Now let's go, I'm going to open up a different two sets of screens here. So we're going to make this one smaller. We'll go back in as a teacher here. Oh, I don't have my, there we go. So these are the two screens I want. Because now as a teacher on this screen, if I click in here to this assignment, I'm going to see this submission. Now I can go to grade this submission. And the words are right here. So this is the submission right here. They're also right there. So you'll notice if I want to check this link out, I can click right here and it opens up their Google Doc. Now watch this. So if this person changes, so here if I add to my submission and the teacher still has the link, so I didn't go back in as the student and update it. When I click on this link, it's going to be the most updated version. If this one will give them the same. So for instance, if I do that, just put it in a new, that's going to be the most updated version as well. But notice how I can't just click on it because it's not hyperlinked. Down here, this one is hyperlinked, so let's click on that one. It's not the most updated version because when the student submitted it, it created that link. So there's specific ways to set it up to make sure you're getting the most updated link if that's something that you want them to have. The easiest way to do it is really to make a video, and I'm happy to make more succinct videos for students, but you don't want to, if you do it wrong, it's really not that big of a deal, but if a bunch of students submit something to you and it wasn't submitted the way you thought, then you might not get what you think from them. But anyway, that's a bunch of different ways to submit on assignments, and let's actually go back to the course page here. That's the specifics of using assignments and setting up assignments.